I'm going to unmute. Hello, hello. Yes, good. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How are you doing? Okay, now the ones that are alive. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Oh, I thought I would only have the return from the spirits. Good to see you here. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just kidding. Entity attachment. And the reason why I didn't put there is spirit attachment. It is because this topic is little by little entering in the scientific field. And that's how they call it. Entity attachment. So I've been here in this type of environment like this house, in a spiritual school like this one, all my life, almost. And when we come to this type of environment, we hear a lot that spirits, they influence us, you know. But I want to hear from you. Do you think the spirits, they can influence us? They can manipulate us somehow? You think so or no?
Yes.
Not at all. Yes. I like that. Yes.
If we allow us.
If we allow it. And if we don't allow it? Still.
It comes in our ego, though. Because I'm trying to think about our ego.
Our ego?
Right. And our bad qualities that come into play.
Yeah.
We recognize them.
Yeah, but what you're saying is slide number 22. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke, it's a joke.
Right.
Too advanced. Hold on. So spirits or entities can or cannot. We will see, right? We will figure out. We'll find out. So this is what we learn here, because we understand we are all spirits. And we understand that when we die, we become a spirit. Now we are incarnate spirits, and then we become spirits. Oh, that's originally where we come from. This is our journey. We are here in a journey. Our natural state, it's our spiritual life for some people. Yes? Okay, we don't have all to agree with that. We are just here to try to understand our spirituality, understand where we come from. Let's not push, just not give too much of information to ourselves right now. Okay, so the entity attachment is now getting in the field of science because a few hypnotists, they started to encounter that situation where a person that is completely in trance and giving information that later on they found out they could not, they say like, I cannot refuse this information, I cannot just ignore this information. And even hypnotists, psychiatrists, they were working with some clients, and they saw that the clients were getting better. So they call it spirit releasement therapy. They don't do this in mainstream kind of facilities like a hospital or public, but they do in private. Psychiatrists, yes, the psychiatrists, they do that. Also, they use the spirit release therapy. So, since I've been in Spiritism forever, let's say, and then I became a hypnotist as well. So I said, I'm going to get certified in spirit release therapy. And I'm going to say, I was very curious. I was like, what? How are they going to treat the spirits? Are they going to use the same techniques that we use here in the house? Because here, we treat all the spirits, incarnates and discarnates, with love. We embrace them with love, just the way that we want to be treated, with love and with respect. It doesn't matter what kind of a spirit you are. If you are a discarnate spirit, you deserve respect. That's our understanding here. That's what we see in practice when we dialogue with the spirits, when we have experience in the mediumistic meetings. We are all the same we incarnate and discarnate, and if we deserve respect, they deserve respect, and we treat everybody with respect. So I was very curious, and in the beginning of the course, I saw that there were a lot of exorcists there. No, you know, those are the reverends, the people from other churches. I don't know if you know that we still have exorcists in our day. You know that? You know that? Okay, so we do. So the discussion was very interesting, because in the beginning, so all the teachers, they didn't say what we were going to get. But then they were like brainstorming, and people would say, like, we cast out, we send them away, we fight with them, we tell them to go. And the teacher was like, yeah, and I was very curious what she's gonna say. And then we had different teachers, and then she said, you know, there is only one way to deal with the spirits, and it was love and compassion. And I'm like, yes. Is the same truth everywhere, same way. Just like humans, we need to be treated with the respect and love, the same way with the spirits. And then, so going there was interesting to see the spiritual release therapy, because we saw the technique that psychiatrists, psychologists were using to treat the spirits the same way. The story is a little bit different than the psychiatrist, right? They bring the spirits to light, and then they treat. There is an ongoing therapy with the person. So they don't enter in the field that we do, which is way bigger than this field. And of course, otherwise they would have to stick with one client forever. They need to have different clients. People, they need to come to a spiritual school, a spiritual hospital like this one, such as this one, in order to deeper their studies, to go deep into their knowledge about spirituality. So entity attachment, the name is already saying, it's when we are basically influenced, different levels of influences. I'm not saying which one. I'm just saying when the entity is attached to us. This influence, it's a little bit more deeper than just an advice, or some spirit that is passing by and one, I don't know, maybe wants to drink a Coca-Cola and say, let's drink a Coca-Cola, and all of a sudden I say, it happened to me. It happened. I'm saying this because it happened to me. I don't drink Coca-Cola, and all of a sudden, oh, I want so much to drink a Coca-Cola. All of a sudden. And I realized later on, minutes later, there was a person next to me that came, sat down, and had a Coca-Cola. I'm like, was this me? Was this person? Was the influence? Is this the energy? What's going on? So let me hear from you. Have you, in any given moment in your life, felt that this thought, this feeling, something that you had in the past did not belong to you? Did you have that impression? like a clear impression, like, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's unlike me. I don't think about that. I don't like this. Maybe I heard already, a cigarette. One day I was like, I want to smoke a cigarette. I never had a cigarette in my life. And I'm like, that's not me. I don't like this. I don't like anything about this. Yes?
Cintia, I have, before I came here, I received an email, and that's the reason I'm here, because it was something that I was searching.
Okay.
But a few days before, I heard a voice. I was taking a course, and it says, with that specific person, don't take the course. It says, but it didn't say that. It says, not with him.
Okay.
And I say, and I stopped. Honestly, I tried to figure out who, what, why.
Right, right.
I couldn't, because it didn't stop. But I also felt like maybe I should stop. It was studying the Silva method.
Yes, the Silva method.
Yeah,
yes.
It says no.
Not with that instructor.
Not with the instructor, which is, it's from mind body.
Right.
So it's no with.
So in this case, you heard like a voice in your head or a suggestion in your head, and then, in your ear, you heard some voices. Some voice telling you, giving you actually a criticism, like, right?
Yeah.
About someone, right? So that happens, and it's more common than we think it is. It happens. So is there anyone here that never heard anything about this topic? No, right? Okay, good. Just so you know. Okay. So there are some symptoms. There are some signs. Usually when we are part of a volunteer in a Spiritist center or a spiritual church, a spiritual school like this one, we, with the years of volunteering, if you are involved in that area, like, for example, you work in, we have here on Thursday a spiritual treatment that is 6 weeks treatment, for example. And usually people have an interview when you come for the first time. So this person, if you are that type of volunteer, you're trained volunteer, all the volunteers here are trained, you are trained volunteer, and you hear over and over again, more or less, same characteristics, right? And you think, we hear a lot this pattern. So there are studies, serious ones, in every Spiritist center of that, let's say, profile of that person. So not only that, of course, we have experience with the spirits. And our services here with treatments, that there are spiritual treatment, we know for a fact that there are links with signs and symptoms of people that they're having entity attachment. And also with the spiritual release therapy and the scientific side of this, of the entity attachment, is the same. It's exactly the same. Later on, I'm gonna give you some books that you can look for, and you will see that we are talking exactly about the same thing. So there are some specific signs, and the sign is related to stress. So the more stressed out your body, your mind is, you are going through some kind of difficult time and stress, that moment when your energy seems like it's being all over the place, that you don't feel yourself, or sometimes something is going on in your body. I don't know if you have ever heard of cases where people have a physical issue and they cannot Say, Yonara.
No, I was
Go
going
ahead.
to say that is was actually brought me to Spiritism years and years ago.
Oh.
Because Luigi was always the Spiritist was born into a family, and I had a pain in my belly, and I went to so many different doctors and specialists, and nobody could figure it out what was wrong with me with that pain. And it turns out that we were actually at work, and I had a cousin that was very close to my heart, like a brother to me, and he had died 2 years before in a car accident. And it ended up, making a long story short, the pain that I was having, it was from him.
Wow.
And now to them that we help him with the therapies, and then the pain was gone forever.
Yeah. And actually, so Yonara is telling her story that she had a pain in her belly, and there was some family member that died, and they found out in a car accident, they found out later on in a Spiritist center that this pain was related to that family member. So that's very common. I actually met someone that she went to the Spiritist center because of that. She knew nothing about Spiritism or spiritualism, and she had a pain that she went to like 300 doctors. She couldn't find and she was, I need to find a reason why I have this pain. Nobody was able to find. And then someone took her to a Spiritist center. She did a treatment, and actually the pain was completely gone. That's very common, a common sign that we see here in the Spiritist center. Someone that has a problem, and they can't find the reason why, and they start to either work as a volunteer or do a spiritual treatment, and they get better completely. Yes?
Yeah. I researched by observation that every day more, I have observed that many people go to the doctor, and the doctors are not telling that they couldn't find what it is. So I see this happening more and more and more. Of course, I didn't know this because that's another psychology meaning for me. But from my perspective is, yes, there is awakening, the spirituality is awakening, and it is causing a turmoil in all of us. So those pains come from somewhere. We have to identify where they come.
Yeah, so it helps when we know ourselves, of course, when we know our body, when we know about our energy, about ourselves. It helps because you can catch it like easily. This doesn't seem like me. I didn't do anything. I haven't done anything to cause me this pain, so I need to find out, do a little research here and find out why I'm having this pain or this problem. But that's not only that, not on the physical level, also in the mental level. And actually, you're going to find a lot of works in science about spiritual release therapy. This is increasing a lot in that field because these are facts. People feel better when they do this kind of work. And there is a reason why a lot of people come here and they start their spiritual development, spiritual studies, spiritual treatment, and they feel better. And that's the reason why we have a lot of people here. Otherwise, we won't have that amount of people. And of course, there are a lot of skeptics and people that don't believe, and they are entitled to, right? Everybody, if they don't believe, it's up to them. But there are a lot of people that with their sensibility, with their soul abilities, they know that it's something beyond the comprehension of our medicine, and they look for other sources of help that can help them. So here I bring just 10, but very important signs that you can check it out, that with each one of them here, this is what we say, this is not something that happens for one day or one afternoon, okay? This is something that it sticks with you, that you are stuck in this idea, okay? And in your life, I'm sure you had some friend or cousin or family member that all of a sudden they had this switch. One passed away, or they used to be like working, everything was working fine and good with their studies, and all of a sudden they switch it. Something happened, they don't know, and things are not working well in their lives. They're stuck in their lives. Of course, we know we have our traits too, our personality traits and everything, but I'm not talking about the usual suspect. I'm not talking about, wait, I'm losing my microphone. I'm not talking about something that I'm gradually seeing that it's growing, you know, when you see a pattern that is developing and you see when it's coming. I'm talking about a drastic change or switch, like a pain, like a symptom, something like this, like a rage, aggressiveness that becomes like a pattern. And you find this very intriguing to understand why this person is acting this way or that way. Let's not put the responsibility of every single act that we don't like about ourselves on this. It requires more attention and research on ourselves. Again, if we are on the path of self-knowledge, it helps a lot. Because then you know how you work, you know how your energy work. You're not going to be confused with some drastic change in your life. And these are the cases that we see that it's here, and in the spiritual release therapy, people that look for psychiatrists and psychologists that can do this type of hypnosis, they have those symptoms that you see here, these 10 symptoms that you see. And yes?
Is it possible that even though everyone has once in life all of those? Because well, I mean,
it's a lot. This is a lot. This is very serious.
Yeah.
Like if you have compulsive crying, it's already very, very serious. It's something very serious. Like to have all of them, I am not that expert in this to say that all of that, but you don't have to have all of that.
No, of course not. But I'm saying is like not in a major way, but like
right.
There is patterns in your life that you go through.
No, I'm talking about major. No, I'm talking about major. No. I'm talking about a level that is differentiated from the normal. We have sadness, we have anger in our lives. This is normal. Normal emotions. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it become pattern, it's something happened in your life, something that is life-changing, a surgery, some kind of big trauma, and then all of a sudden you snap and you become, you have those traits that you didn't have before, and it's very strange. Unlike you. I'm not talking about the regular anger and those other normal emotions. I'm talking about, like, for example, you are completely addicted to gossiping, right? You are completely like in your new, the way that you approach life is like spending too much time judging others and feeling that you are a victim. That's something that you spend a lot of time with that. right? Aggressiveness is a pattern. Okay, we have rage, but to be aggressive and with a specific person all the time, right? So recurring illnesses as well. What do you see here? Is this completely, what you see in the picture is completely strange for you? In your life experiences, you are too busy looking at yourself, you forgot to look around you.
Cintia, I am so confused.
Go ahead.
What is the point?
We didn't finish the
Oh, I'm
speech
sorry,
yet.
you just, I get my head, but where are we getting?
Okay. At the end, everything will be okay, like Raphael said. That's it. Trust in the process. Everything will be all right. So far, we are talking about some symptoms. Like, for example, if I tell you that someone has a cold, this person has a few symptoms, yes? These symptoms here, someone with entity attachment. Yes? Oh. Yes, and? He's like, and? So you don't think you had any problems with entity attachments in your life?
Honestly, no, I don't identify
Okay,
with any
Great.
increase of frequently thoughts of symptoms like that.
right,
Of course, once in a while you get
right.
once in a while.
Okay.
Go through a financial situation.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's one, I'm talking to an audience of elevated spirits. Yes?
No.
No, I don't listen to me.
Yes? That's wonderful.
I think this list, I think everyone can identify with any of those symptoms or emotions at some time in their life or other, whether it's entity attachment.
Okay.
It's, yeah, I don't know.
So that's normal in your life?
I can identify with some of them, but not all of them.
Okay.
I mean, I think everybody can identify with some of them.
If you identified with one certain point in your life, it could be pretty much a case of that, of entity attachment. And the reason why we need to learn about this is because we get out of our path, right? We want to be aligned with our own journey, yes? With the things that we have to do, our planning, our spiritual planning, our spiritual development. And if one of those things happens, we're not going to be happy. We're going to be stuck. We're going to be sad, yes?
Yeah.
Turbulent relationships. Do you know anybody with a turbulent relationships?
Define turbulence.
Cara is laughing, right? You know. We know that. So people that are struggling with addiction, what do you think that our energy, our field of electromagnetic field of our body is when we are struggling with addiction? Right? So that's not something that we deal in our lives every once in a while. That's creating a lot of struggle, right? So we know a lot of people, if not ourselves. Addiction is not only drugs. You know that, right? There are many levels of addiction and types of addiction. And especially for us that we are spiritualized people, there are other type of addictions. Gossip, jealousy.
Addicted to being right.
Addicted to being right, to be perfect. Pointing people, judging people. This is also addiction. I went to a Narcotic Anonymous meeting here in Florida with a friend, and just to accompany him. And then at the end, so the ladies, they were approaching to me and say, oh, you know, we get together, we have a group, we want to give you our phone number, blah, blah, blah. And my friend said, she's not an addict. I said, hold on. Hold on. Just because I don't use drug, I didn't use drug, you can take me out of this addiction. I am addicted to other things. Yes, I am. You probably recall that when you wake up, there are certain things that you go straight to, yes? That you do every day. Most of our days, we are repeating what we are doing for years. Isn't that an addiction too? To be addicted to the same thinking pattern, isn't that an addiction too? Okay. To the phone, right? This is a big addiction now, the phone.
Yep.
The phone. Also, I see like people are addicted to getting things like right now. But now with the technology and everything, it's a push of a button. People want things faster now. They cannot wait. They can't wait. Okay, so those symptoms and much more about this topic you can find in one of these books. So I bought the Spirits book, the Mediums book. There is a book channeled by Chico Xavier and with the spirit of André Luiz, Action and Reaction. They even talk about the schools there are in the spirit realm for you to become a professional entity attacher. Yes, I'm not kidding. Universities. So Action and Reaction. Also Sex and Destiny. There are a few cases of what happens. We can actually damage someone else's energy just having those horrible thoughts about that person. So that energy get out from our body and go there and meet that person. And for sure, a person feels it. There are some people that are more sensitive than others, and oh, I'm not feeling well. Those thoughts that you are sending there, it works both ways, positive and negative. And also there are some classics here, the Unquiet Dead. There are also this guy, Mike Williamson, another, those are all PhDs, psychiatrists, psychologists, and MDs. Those books, they are all from scientists. They are working with entity attachment, yes. And you can also find this nonprofit organization is spiritrelease.org. You can find books, you can find articles. Yes?
On the, I don't know what is the name of the book, but if it's many physicians here. The book that classified the illness. Yes. There is a part of the book, I think it's 414.
It's 414.
Yes, and it mentioned the spirit possession.
Yes, that's true. And that's a node 1.
Yeah, it's a diagnosis.
Yeah.
Diagnosis, yes.
Yeah, it's a mental illness. Yes, absolutely. So there are several books, and you can find, but I have to tell you that's my personal opinion. Right here, the information you get, it's way bigger and deeper than anywhere else you can go. Those books are wonderful. But then when you compare the amount of information we gather here because of the experience of dialoguing, talking with the spirits, treating spirits, it gives us the opportunity to hear many sides of the story and understand the development of the story and understand where they come from or where we come from and the reason of our issues and how to heal it, of course. And that's the goal, Fernando. It's to heal ourselves. So what do you think? Victim or perpetrator? Those entities, what do you think they are? Both? What do you think you are?
Both.
You are the victim or you are the perpetrator? Both? No? What do you think? I want to hear from you.
I don't feel like I'm a victim or perpetrator.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go down either lane if you want to, but if you stop yourself from going down that lane of feeling like a victim, then you don't have to. You have that choice. We all do.
Okay.
It's a matter of realizing it as quick as possible.
Okay.
Managing yourself.
Okay. But then we are creating an action all the time, right? We are creating an action. And this is generating some kind of energy frequency with that action, yes? And there are energies and entities, they might connect with that energy, right? It could be, right? So if I create an energy that is of let's say, anger, and it's similar to another anger entity, and we connect, what is happening there?
You are
Anger, fight within each other.
You're inviting.
Yeah, but who started the anger?
You did.
You allowed it to bring it up.
Exactly. So with that perspective, we just need to realize that we are responsible for what we are creating, our thoughts and our actions. This is not about beating ourselves up or feeling guilty. It's just to become conscious, expand our awareness that we are part of this. Can we try to imagine the amount of negative hatred thoughts that the population of the earth send to our atmosphere every second? On the other hand, the amount of love, positive thinking.
Which one's bigger?
Right? Which one's stronger, more weight, right? They are all energy. We need to understand on that. So that's why I bring this victim or perpetrator, because there are a lot of people that come here to the center and they say, there is an entity that is destroying my life or destroying my relationship, or I have heard that this entity broke my dishwasher. I can't wash my dishes. I'm not joking. Yes. So I am the victim. There is something after me. Please do something. Cast it out, right? So we need to expand our awareness and see that we are responsible for our actions. We are the creator of our energy, our thoughts, and everything that emanates from us. And we are aggregating with others because we are connected. We are not separated from others. We are not. Right now, we are exchanging this energy with each other. Of course, the house is supporting us because there is an elevated goal here in the house, which is to serve others. And this goal creates a lot of beautiful energy here in the house, and it helps us. But of course, there are other energies also here in the house that come, right? And those that we bring with us, yes? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we bring a lot of entities here in the house. I've brought many consciously. Sorry about that, to give you more work, but it is. Death and transition. How do you want to get out of this body? In other words, how do you want to die? Easy. Quiet.
In my sleep.
In your sleep. How do you want to die? Tell me.
I don't know. I thought before, and sometimes I think like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how would I die and how would I be this way or this way?
Uh-huh.
And then I remember, why should I think about that? Whatever happens, it happens. I'm just
Whatever happens, happens. How do you want to die, Fernando?
Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens.
My concern today is
Yes.
to be the best human being that I can be, and hope that that transition will be as easy, smooth as possible, but I'm not going to put any conditions. However, I want to go back to a subject that you touched or you brought. When the person that comes here, ex-wife, says, my dishwasher broke and someone got into it, blah, blah, blah. That process is okay. And when a person feels that way, what would you do? If someone comes and says, someone is interfering in the machine, in the dishwasher, and with my refrigerator,
Relationship stuff.
to whom?
But if it's influencing your relationship or in your life or in your job, that too.
What is that?
So you're saying that.
That person comes and complains.
Yes.
His problem is that someone is interfering with the laundry machine or whatever.
Relationship with the job and other stuff. Yes.
Blaming someone else.
Blaming, yeah.
So how does the center deal with that?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Find a therapist.
No, the center. He's saying the center.
The center. I will-
He's saying the
I personally
center.
will definitely think
So-
the person is a psychologist.
You remember the beginning of this talk, I was saying that everybody's treated with respect.
Yes.
So that's the first step. So if we are judging people, this and that, and say, you should know better, go read something. You should know about your spiritual life. Don't you know you are creating this, or it's coming for you because of something in the past, and then we are not better than right, the person, all the problems that this person is having. So here, first of all, we'll welcome everyone. And we promote a lot of education here in the center because we need to enlighten ourselves. There is no cure-all pill that gives, or you're not going to go in that person's mind and will change their beliefs, right? So it's baby steps. The person needs to want to be conscious about what's going on in their lives. So there are different types of approach that the house offers.
If I may.
Yes.
With all my respect. But that concerns me. Because if a
Yes.
person comes, I guess I'm thinking of myself being in a hospital. If a person comes and says to me, someone is interfering with the laundry machine,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. To me, that person, with my apologies, please.
Uh-huh.
A person needs more than spiritual treatment. I will not feel comfortable letting that person go out of that.
Yeah, but we cannot interfere like that.
Yeah.
Because that's you have something inside of you, like some kind of a judgment or criticism that you are saying that you know what this person needs, right? From your perspective, you're saying that you need more than a treatment. And here, the way that we approach, we respect everybody because we don't know their story. We don't know where they come from. So there are different types of approach here. And we cannot step into the person's life and try to change their ways, if you know what I mean. When you came to the house, you came for a specific reason, your reason. Tell you, and I'm going to do to you exactly what you need, because I think I know what you need. Friend to somebody else.
If someone else is coming, telling me that she or he is
Luigi, you want to say something? Say something.
Well, Fernando, you need to understand what she's trying to say. The spiritual world and the spirits on the other side, they can do a lot of things that you do not understand. And one of the things is interfering with the dishwasher or the refrigerator. For you, when somebody comes in and says something like that, you're going to think that she's crazy. But it's not. It could be not. There was a book right there. Can you go back?
Sure.
One more? If you go back and see that book over there, Schizophrenia or Spirit Possession?
Yes.
Okay? Most of the time is a spirit possession, the issue with the schizophrenia. But nobody knows how to deal with that. And a lot of the issues in life today are related with the spiritual wound, but a lot of people don't know. People don't study that.
Exactly.
And so immediately they judge that this person needs a psychiatrist. Okay? Because they only understand this physical side. They don't understand the spiritual side. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen things in my life of a spiritist that if I tell you, you're going to call the police for me. You understand? Because we deal with those things. So that's what you're going to.
Yeah.
We need to understand.
No, it's okay. Absolutely. It's your opinion.
Of spirituality. Because in this common example that she gave, either interfere with our electronics, for example.
Yeah.
It does happen.
It does.
Oh, can I tell a case here?
Yes, yes.
There was in England, this guy was printing something. And there is this, how do I call this physical medium? What is a physical medium? A physical medium is that one that has capability to give the spirit the ability to
manifest.
Control, to manifest in the spirit on a physical world. Control your computer, your phone, your everything. Today in Brazil, we have this lady that receives messages from the phone, on the printer, okay?
Yep.
The printer just starts printing with the message. She takes, or
the
pictures
TV.
from the TV, when the TV is off, completely off. She has several videos on the internet with pictures of people that already died coming into the process of transcommunication because she allowed it through her mediumship, give the spirit the way to go through the TV when it's off and send the picture through it. And it's clear as a real picture. Okay? I've seen many times we have done it here. Okay?
Yeah.
Unplugged from the wall. So if we are studying spirituality, we need to get the entire spectrum of
It's a little bit different than the straightforward approach than the doctor. When the doctor sees something, and sometimes it's not right, something in your arm and goes straight to the point, like it can see a broken bone, but it cannot see a broken heart, for instance. Someone that is sad, someone that is, has a sad emotion or depression. So it is hard because it's a human being. We are very complex. Yes, yes.
Just yesterday I have a couple that he brought his wife here because he said she needs to go to hospital. I'm bringing her here because she needs mental help. She cannot stay with me. She cannot go back home. And I knew it was like a spiritual, it wasn't mental, the problem. And I said, no. Are you a licensed person to be telling me what I need to do? So no, she's gonna go back home with you and she's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You know, and let me speak to you by myself. So I let her go and I treated him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even being licensed, I can correct somebody, meaning I can call the police and the ambulance and have them bring the person to
Exactly.
to a hospital. But if you're not a licensed professional,
Yeah,
how do that?
that's, and I love to hear your accounts and your examples because that's human nature. That's human, being human. It's very complex. And the medical field doesn't know everything about our body. And before we get to know everything about the spirit, we have a lot to learn. So I want to leave you with this. So death and transition. So this is part of our life. And the reason why we have entities wandering on the planet looking for energy to suck or people to influence, it is because we have our unfinished business and our struggles that we don't pay attention to. And we think that when we die, with the blink of an eye, everything will disappear. What if not? I'm not saying it's not going to disappear. I'm not going to say anything. I'm saying, what if? What if we still continue, like many scientists believe, that we have consciousness, that they call the consciousness, the spirit, and that we continue? What if? A lot of people, they focus on the problems of the birth, the inner child, the child. It's wonderful. But the entity attachment is a problem of death. A person that would get out of the body with unfinished business. And they're blind, and they don't know what to do, but to continue to go get the coffee, look on the phone, and do the things they are used to do. So here, we know for fact that when the spirit get out of the body, it will continue doing exactly the same thing that they were doing. They're not going to change. They're not going to become saints like a lot believe. No. Also, Hinduism and Buddhism, they also teach the same thing. So death and transition is part of our life, and this is what you know me. I like to bring stuff that we can talk about, and we find within us our definite answer, or our answer in our search. Thank you so much. Juan? No, Juan will come.